cooking today. Today I'm going to be making homemade manicotti. So authentic, so good. We're gonna start off by making the sauce. I think a lot of people probably struggle on knowing what to use to make the sauce. So I'm gonna show you how I make the sauce, and then some people my grandma used to use homemade tomato sauce, but I don't do homemade tomato sauce. So I'm gonna show you what I do use. So we're gonna start off, you could really just use 1 can of this, but I like to double it because you wanna put some extra sauce on it when it's done. So this is peeled tomatoes, but it's the Marzano tomatoes. It's the best ones. It's the most authentic that you're gonna get in a can. So I like thin sauce, well, thinner sauce. I don't like chunks. So I'm gonna start off by putting it in the blender. Just dump it right on in there. And then I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning and about a teaspoon of minced garlic. Yeah, that's good. And again, like I said, I like it kind of thin, so I'm going to liquefy it. Come on. I'm doing 2 cans, but I can only fit 1 in the blender at a time. And then I'm gonna just put it in a pot. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to make the noodles in a second. So I'm just gonna pour it in a pot. I'm gonna add the other can. And I put enough seasoning. I'm actually gonna add just a little bit of seasoning. Just a little, maybe about a half a teaspoon more of Italian seasoning. And I added enough garlic for both jars, both cans of tomatoes. Put the lid back on. Blend it up. I'm just gonna let this simmer on the stove while I start making my noodles. It's technically like crepes, but when you're done, it's a noodle, and it is the most authentic way to do manicotti. It is so good. All right, let me move some stuff, get this on the stove. Let it go. Let that simmer. I'm gonna get this out the way. I'm gonna move the mixer over here because I'm gonna be using the mixer for this next part. All right, so my mixer plugged in over here. All right, so that is basically the sauce right there. Easy peasy. You could add some fresh basil if you would like in it, but there's basil already in the can, so I don't add any extra. But now moving on to making the manicotti noodles. First, we're gonna start off with 3 cups of milk, but you want it warm. That's why I have this here. Let me just get this on real quick. This is a butane burner. It comes in real handy. There we go. Turn it down. Just gonna add my milk and my, then you want, so like I said, 3 cups of milk. All this will be in the description below also, so if you don't catch something, don't feel bad. I will add it. All right, we're gonna do a tablespoon of butter. Just want that in there and melt it. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon of salt to your taste. And I'm gonna kind of hold the butter down something I do. You don't have to, it will melt. You don't want the butter hot, you just want it warm. So I just kind of stir that salt in there and kind of melt that butter in at the same time. And then what else you're gonna need for this is 4 eggs, which I'm actually going to go ahead and put those in my bowl. Basically, you just let that warm. So let's go over the noodles again, or the crepes, whatever you would like to call them. You're gonna have 3 cups of milk, 1 tablespoon of butter, 4 eggs, and then we're gonna have about 3.5 to 4 cups of flour. When I'm done, I'll let you know exactly how much I have added. And I'll show you the right consistency you want for it. Butter's almost all melted. And I'm just gonna do the finger test. My hands are clean, so. Butter melt. While I'm having that melt, I'm just gonna go ahead and mix up the eggs. We're gonna add the milk and the butter and salt and all that to it. Let me just see. Yep, it's warm. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Just gonna pour the milk right on in here with the eggs. I'm gonna actually. Alright, that's nice and blended up together. Now let me grab my flour. You're going to add the flour in slowly. I'm going to move this for just a minute because I am going to be using this to make it for you guys. So, slide it over. Alright, like I said, about 4 cups, and we'll add it in about a cup at a time. Alright, that's about a cup. This is such a good recipe. Okay, that first cup is mixed in very good. Now, I'm going to turn it off for a second, just to make it easier for myself. All right, second cup going in. the third cup. We'll check it after the third cup and look for the right consistency to see if we're there yet. But I found it's about 3.5 to 4 cups. All right, third cup's going in. Consistency to be like a thin pancake batter, like a crepe, if you know how to make crepes. A little bit more. Pull this off the sides. See how you got little pieces of flour still? We don't really want that, so I'm going to keep blending, but you'll see when it's done. As it thickens up, it kind of goes away. So, all right, we're going to get a cup, but I'm only going to add about half of it. All right. So like. I'm just going to use, I have a half cup measuring, I'm sorry, a half cup measuring cup. It just sounded weird. You know what? That's actually probably good. So I did, yeah, I think that's good. We did 3.5 cups of flour, but you just want like you don't want it too thin. You don't want it too thick. Okay, that is done, and I'm going to use this half cup measuring cup to kind of determine how big I'm making the crepes. I'm going to move this, put this up. Sauce, okay, turn it up just a tad. Bring this back over. This can get moved. You know what? You can just slide it on over with the bowl for now. Gonna have this on, if you have like a electric stove, I say like 4 is a good number, which is right a little under medium, so low, medium low heat. So, got my pan here. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of Pam in there for the first one, and you see what happened? Oh, I'm making a mess. All right, I'm seeing I got a little bit of clump, so give me just a second. I'm gonna blend it really good. I'm just spraying some Pam in here, and as soon as I'm ready to put one in, I will come right back, okay? Be right back. Okay, so we are back. I kind of mixed up my crepe batter a little bit better, and I've got my little pan ready. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit more. Like I said, about low to medium, like medium low. So I take a half cup thing. I don't actually fill it all the way, but it just kind of gives you an idea. Come close. All right, you just pour it in. Actually, I'm gonna have to. And you stir it around. You only put oil in for the very first one. See how it's cooking on the edges? Slides around the pan. Believe it or not, that is going to be your noodle. Crepe noodle. So now that it's kind of done, I just take a fork and kind of peel up the sides and flip it right on over. Again, my hands are clean. And I got a plate over here just ready to put them. You can actually do the crepes day before if you would like. If you would like, and just keep them in the refrigerator. All right, so then I just take it and put it on here, and then I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna be filming the whole time, but I will probably speed it up. So again, we're gonna show you the first few. Just kind of put enough in. Make sure it stirs around. It's actually probably about a 1/4 cup. Let it cook on one side. I've got a little towel over here because I'm making a mess on my hands. You can see kind of like little chunks. I didn't mean to, you really want that mixed in well. All right, it's already almost done on one side. You take it and flip it. And I'm actually gonna turn my heat down just a little bit more because I don't want it that done. I like them a little lighter. It doesn't really matter, I guess, but once it cooks, it will actually come off the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna actually take this little piece out. Done. All right, and just keep it going. This recipe is going to make about 2 pans. My family is a family of 4. It's me, my husband, and my 2 kids, 17 and 11, and we usually eat about a pan, and then I take the other pan, I'll either freeze it, like put it in like a foil, like a throwaway pan, so I can just stick it right in the oven, or cook it the next day if you put it in the refrigerator. All right, almost done. That's like perfect. That's like the most perfect one I've done. You want them thin. They're gonna expand whenever you bake them. You're gonna kind of thicken up. And the consistency is like a noodle. You'd actually be really amazed. I know it looks kind of like a crepe or a pancake, but the consistency is like noodle-like. All right, I'm gonna stop talking and I'm just going to make them. I'm gonna speed the video up so you can at least see me making them and all that, but won't have to be talking the whole time. There we go. Perfect noodle-like, right there. You just kind of stir it around in that pan, like to make a thin layer, kind of like a crepe. I will be making a video of crepes, so stay tuned for that. This is like the Italian crepe. I guess you could probably throw something else in there other than the filling, like the ricotta cheese and all that, but I'll stick to the other crepes for the dessert type stuff. It's honestly not that much different whenever you're making a regular crepe. For sweet ones though, I add a little bit of sugar to it to make the crepe actually sweet instead of just the filling. All right, I'm gonna stir this sauce, I can smell it. It's been simmering the whole time, so it's thickening up. This is what you want for your sauce. Because it's really thin whenever you blend it all up, but as you let it simmer, I would say simmer your sauce for at least like 30 minutes. Or do what I do and just simmer it while you're making your noodles. I think I might be able to get one more. Might as well not let it go to waste. All right, almost done. I kind of let the top get done completely before I flip it. I know the first couple I didn't, but that's because I had my heat just a little too high. It's literally the consistency of a noodle though. I know it might not show real well on the camera. It's thin like a crepe, but it's like noodly. All right, we're done. I'm gonna turn this off. Give me just a few minutes. Give me just a few minutes and I'm gonna get the stuff ready to go in our filling and we will show you that process. Be right back. All right, I am back. The noodles are sitting over here done. Now we are going to make the filling. Again, all of this is going to be in the description below. You're gonna need 2 pounds of ricotta. I got the 2 smaller things, but they actually sell it in a 2-pound container. I like this brand. Does not mean you have to go with that brand, but you know, you just get whatever you like. I also use whole milk ricotta, not skim. We're just gonna dump that out in the bowl. All right. So that's 2 pounds. Now you're gonna need a pound of mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna actually leave a little bit for the top. I shredded it myself. You do not have to shred it yourself. You can use already shredded cheese. There, that's probably good. That's enough for the top. Just trying to break it up. I shredded it and then put it in the refrigerator, so now it's gonna clumped up a little. There we go. Okay, that'll be enough for the top. You're gonna need a cup of pecorino Romano cheese. You could do probably about a 1/2 cup to a cup. I've got a 1/3 cup measuring thing, so do 1, 2, 3. All right. 4 eggs. without eggshell. Did this last video too. No eggshell, no eggshell. This one's about to get a whole bunch of eggshell. What is wrong with me today? I promise I do know how to crack eggshells. Alright. You're going to need about a 1/4 teaspoon pepper or whatever to taste. And a 1/4 teaspoon salt. And then about a 1/4 cup fresh chopped parsley. Now we are just going to mix all this up. Try to get the egg kind of good first. It'll help mix it all together here. I did not tell you, but you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and I will make sure to put that in the description below also. So you don't make all this and then at the end when it's about ready to go in the oven, then I tell you. Just make sure you stir it up really good. All right. That's stirred up nicely. And this is your filling. If you did like a half recipe, you're just going to use 2 eggs and only 1 pound of ricotta cheese instead of 2 pounds and then like ½ pound. But I know you guys know how to cut a recipe down. So, all right. Move all this stuff out of the way. I'm going to hand it to my helper here. All right, I'm going to move this over. Now we're going to take, I'm going to do 1 pan to bake right now, and then I'm going to do a pan to save for later. I'm going to freeze it. So I've just got like a 1 glass cooking dish, 13 by 9, and then just a foil throwaway one that I can put in the oven, or I'm sorry, in the freezer, and then I don't have to worry about it being too cold to put in the oven and breaking my glass dish. So now we're going to assemble our manicotti, okay? So I'm gonna take some sauce. Like I said, this simmered for about 30 minutes or so. I'm gonna bring it over to my stove, or I'm sorry, my cook area here. Okay. You're just gonna take some and kind of line the bottom of the pan. Make sure you zoom in on this one. My husband helps me out. We finally, I don't know if you noticed in my other videos, but we finally figured out how to work our camera also. We had been making the, when we were filming, we had been making the videos like too small for the screen. We finally figured out how to actually make it the full size of the screen. So all right, basically I just put a little bit of sauce, and then I take some pecorino Romano and I just kind of sprinkle it on the sauce. This is totally optional, but I suggest do it. Just a little bit of cheese. Now I'm gonna take, hopefully you can see this, I'm gonna kind of turn this way. I'm gonna move things in different orders here. So I'm gonna give it a good stir, one more good stir. And I'm literally just gonna do it right here. So you take some filling. I always put it right at the edge. Just kind of give a nice amount. You take your 1 crepe and you roll it up. Then you just set it in the pan. Make sure you remember where your end is. Do them all the same way so you don't, when you try to take them out, they don't just all fall apart. Again, put some filling, take your crepe, roll it up, put it in the pan. After showing you a couple, I'll probably speed this part up also, just so you don't have to watch, kind of shorten the video a little. There's no science to this. You know, it can be messy sometimes, but just put filling in and line them up. It's almost like Italian I'm sorry, not manicotti, obviously that's what I'm making. It's like Italian enchiladas. My husband's laughing at me, but that's okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna clean my hand off a little. Now you just take some sauce. You're gonna make sure you get all the edges. You don't put a lot on while you're cooking it, because then it just kind of gets too much watery, then you gotta bake it a lot longer. So make sure you do all the edges and then just kind of put a thin layer on top. I'll show you as I go. A little where there is none. Okay. Then, again, I'm going to take a little bit of pecorino Romano, sprinkle it on top. And then you take some of that mozzarella cheese. You don't need a lot of that either. All right, that right there is our manicotti before it goes in the oven. All right, guys, I'm gonna work on assembling this other pan. To shorten the video, you obviously see what I did. I'm gonna cover this with foil, and whenever I am ready, when I'm done with this one, I'll show you both pans, and I will be right back, okay? All right, so I finished panning up the manicotti, and this is what you have when you're done. I actually had a few noodles left over, but again, you can save those, but honestly, I'm not gonna save them because they're not gonna really stay for that long. This one in the foil tin, I'm going to freeze just like it is. And then whenever either I'm at work one night, my husband can just take it out of the freezer and pop it in the oven. So that one's gonna go up. You're gonna wanna cover the one that you're baking also with foil. And we're gonna put this in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm gonna start with 45 minutes and come back and see kind of what it looks like, okay? So let's get it in the oven. I'm gonna set my timer, 45 minutes, and then you want to keep your sauce, your extra sauce, because you're going to use that to, once you serve it, it's going to look like there's not a lot of sauce on there, and then you're going to top it with some extra sauce and maybe a little bit of more pecorino Romano if you would like, or Parmesan, or whatever you would like. So, all right guys, 45 minutes and I will be back, okay? All right. All right, manicotti is just about done. Oh, there it is. Let's check it out. Man, I wish you guys could smell the kitchen right now. Fresh, authentic manicotti. I've also got some garlic bread cooking. I'm gonna just use that up. There we go. All right, let's see. I added 15 minutes to it. So we did do it for an hour. Okay, so let's go ahead and get one out on a plate. Oh man, this is gonna taste so good. I'm going to all right, let's move this over. You see that? Let's see if you can see the cheese in there. Oh, so good. All right, I'm gonna cut it. Look at that. Look at that filling. I know I just pulled it out, but I've got to try it. You can see that parsley in there. So good. All right. Just the right amount of salt. Tastes so good. You can add some of the sauce that you made. Put a little extra over it if you would like. This is so good. You guys have got to try it. Make sure you like and subscribe. And stay tuned. Hit that notification bell because there's so much more to come, okay? Bye, guys.